Today is Sunday, February 21st, 2021, and this is going to be a pretty quick video about time. I just think it's one of the most interesting things for me to talk about because every day I feel it and I can't escape it, and I know that there's others out there that feel it too. And it's end times prophecy from Jesus Christ, so I never get tired of talking about it. And I thought I would just make this video. This is something that I recently put up on my website, and I'll read it and then I'll talk about a few more things, but yeah, I'll just keep this pretty short. So I titled this only 4 hours. My wife was just FaceTiming with her sister. Later today, we have plans, a dinner get-together. When my wife told sister-in-law about our plans later, sister-in-law mentioned, "Oh, I better let you go. You only have 4 hours until the party. It's a birthday thing." Only? Since when was 4 hours a small unit of time? Today it is. Today, 4 hours really is just around the corner, time-wise, compared to old time. Remember in times past when people had landline telephones with the crazy long curly cords? Women would talk for hours on those things while doing housework. Can you imagine a conversation back then of someone saying, "Oh, you got somewhere to be in 4 hours? I better let you go." And that was just a thought I had. Back in the day, nobody would think of 4 hours as being a small amount of time. And I don't want to get into it because I don't understand how it works. But one of the most interesting things about this time thing, 4 hours still should be a long amount of time. You can watch more than 2 movies in 4 hours. So why does it go by so fast now? And I personally, my personal opinion is that things like movies and media, they have their runtime built in. So I think that a lot of stuff is actually playing a little bit faster than, and so it's still like an hour and this many minutes or whatever. I don't know exactly how it works. It still seems like a 2-hour movie is 2 hours, but I know that 4 hours isn't what it used to be. And yeah, that's just it. That the most mysterious part is the whole media thing. Why does a lot of media still seem to follow the clock time? But I think that if things are slightly sped up or slightly slowed down, it's just not that noticeable. You wouldn't notice it. It's not until it gets really extreme. And then that's when I think of the really interesting how if you look at really old footage, it looks sped up, which actually it might first seem counterintuitive, but actually it makes sense with if 15 seconds of old time plays in 15 seconds of new time, it would look sped up because back then seconds were longer. So 15 seconds of old time would take up more stuff would happen. And that's just the same way that today is. It seems like just in 4 hours of time today, just not that much stuff happens. That's why people have this intuition now. Oh, you got somewhere to be in 4 hours, you better get going, because we just instinctively know that these days it's not a lot of time. But I'm saying in times past, 4 hours was a huge amount of time. You didn't used to have to worry about scrambling to, oh, I better start thinking about getting ready. I got this thing to do in 4 hours. It just, to me, I can't relate with it at all. It just seems like this is so wrong. Why is 4 hours just not anything anymore? The days just zoom by like nothing. Okay, I've said enough about that, and I just have a few more notes about times. So I went to a party here. Nothing interesting happened at the party, and the energy was just really low. That's just something I've noticed for a long time now. I think it has to do with time moving more quickly. People still have all our daily obligations, but 8 hours of sleep doesn't do it anymore. And we're all running on empty because we're all sleep deprived, I think. I feel super sleep deprived. And it's weird though. I'm super sleep deprived, feeling like very exhausted a lot of times, and at the same time I can stay up really late, and it's because it comes so quick. It'll be 1 a.m. before I know it, and that's not how I am in general. I'm growing up excuse me, I'm not a night person. I'm just not a night person, and I had to like train myself to be able to stay up, and it's a huge effort. I used to go to sleep really, really early, but it's just nowadays time goes by so fast. You can be exhausted and you'll still find yourself awake at 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, over and over and over again because it just approaches so quickly now. It didn't used to be like that. You would just pass out because you'd get so tired. Um, so I just have a few I'm just going to read a few more notes and then end the video. And just another reminder, I post some stuff like this on my personal website, so I'll post a link in the description. So the party, I went to a party. One thing I've noticed about parties, this is a children's birthday party, and I don't have any I don't have any real life friends. Anything that I do, it's kind of like that these days. Something related to my children. So I've been going to these children events, and I've just noticed these children events these days last so long and so late into the night. And I don't remember it being like that at all. So just to give you an example, it'll be like a dinner thing and you'll get there at 5, and a lot of people, I would say most people, end up staying until 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night. I just don't think it used to be like that at all. And I think that it has to do with time moving so quickly. People know, like, it feels like we just got here. We haven't even been here this long. And there's certain instances like that where people kind of ignore the clock time. You would be surprised how many people are okay with having their kids just up, like going crazy at 10 o'clock at night. And that, I mean, that's kind of another thing too that I can just personally say because I have children. It seems like children's sleeping habits are different than when we were, at least when I was growing up. Kids would go to bed early and, I mean, wake up early too, and then take a nap. But I just know from my personal experience, it seems like my kids have a hard time adjusting. So children, can't believe I said kids. I've almost eliminated that from my vocabulary. It's so hard though. A kid is a baby goat. So you should not call children kids. So I just know from personal experience that it seems like it's just harder to get children to get used to a good sleep nap schedule these days. I've personally not, I just know that my children, when they're young, they stopped taking naps really young. And I think it's because days are so short, it's like they just don't need it. So that was a side tangent I didn't expect to get into. But when it comes to these parties, when I was young, there was no way that any of those children's birthdays were going until 10 o'clock at night. That's insane. That that's not how children's birthday parties used to work. And these days it just doesn't even seem weird. It doesn't even seem like, whoa, this children's get together is lasting a long time and staying really late. It's just because you can tell, yeah, the clock says it's 10 o'clock at night, but this has all been a very reasonably length party. And I guess just some more thoughts about that. So getting together with people, friends, local friends, nowadays it's totally normal for it to be like months. Months will go by, but between seeing people, and it doesn't even feel like it's been a really, really long time. Whereas in times way past, if you just kind of haven't talked to your friend in 2 months, it would be way bigger of a deal. And even this works with family too. Just I have some somewhat, so I have relatives living pretty close, like really close in the same city, not like next door, but they live really close. And there will be large amounts of calendar time that pass and they just won't visit. And I don't think that it would have been like that in the past. In the 90s, somebody that lives in town that you're friendly with, that's in your family, you don't just not see them for a month. But nowadays, it just happens because life happens and people have too much stuff going on and time's moving too quickly. Um, so yeah, that's just something I've noticed, that the calendar time between events, between people meeting up, it just keeps growing and growing. And this has nothing to do with the current event, the current year. Nobody cares about that anymore. Nobody cares about that crap. I live in a very liberal area and nobody cares about that crap. That is not why people are not getting together. It's just that time is moving too quickly and people don't have the time to get together anymore. So, I guess just one other thing. I've just noticed that people have had to streamline everything. So the get-togethers that do happen are way less elaborate than things in the past. People in the past used to put a lot of effort into getting themes for things and uh, making sure everything looks nice, and maybe a lot of different activities for the kids to play. I remember we used to play different activities, and uh, you could cram a lot of events into a birthday party that didn't end at 10 p.m. But nowadays, people can even try it at. It wasn't this last event I went to, but like one before that or something. The host even tried to get people to come do an event, and it was like really not many people joined in on the event, and it was over with, and that was like it for the whole night. Because I don't know, it's just things are so different. Things are so different. It's not the way that it used to be. There used to be so much time to do stuff and to just really enjoy things while you're in the moment. Something I bring up every once in a while that I just think is really, there's certain things that stick with me, and I think they stick with me for a reason. There's so much on TV nowadays where everybody's rushing. All the all the shows have people competing with one another, rushing against the clock, and I think it's to get you thinking that it's normal to need to rush to complete everything, because that's just how today is. You just need to rush to complete everything. There is no time to just sit back and relax anymore. And okay, I think I think I've said everything. And I'll leave it at that. God bless everyone.